You sent me. Christian sent me. He wanted me to talk of Dying Light because
Oh
I think
yes,
I'm the only
because
one
that's
who did
something.
a full playthrough of it.
Yes,
Um. So for
I have
Dying Light,
Brad's.
Brad, have you played it?
Brad
I've
doesn't.
seen people stream it, so I got a
Okay.
couple things to say about it, but not too much.
Um. Dying Light, right off the bat, it's Techland, so they have really good
Oh,
design
hold
when
up
it
one
comes
second.
to.
Uh, Somebody followed, so I
Oh,
mean
okay.
it's not showing up. I'm sorry about that. People on YouTube, I'm sorry about that also because you guys can't see and you don't know what's going on. You might not know this is a live stream, so sorry about that. But yeah, I just want to point that out. So that's what that was. Yeah.
Do you know the name of the person who followed?
No, it doesn't show up.
Oh well, damn.
I don't know if anybody followed
Well,
because
made the noise. I can go on Twitch alerts and we'll figure it out at the end. And we can take it
All
okay.
right.
easy.
So Dying Light, right off the bat, the game looked very impressive. It's Techland, so I mean they did really good job with the Dead Island. Just the average, looks of everywhere. The environment looked really nice. Um, One thing I did notice that was changed for the greatest was the lip sync that plagued Dead
Oh
Island so bad. This was changed better, so it's actually lipped like it's finally done. Um, Story wise, it kind of gets you in. It's just kind of like, okay, this is pretty much like your average zombie. We're trying to find a cure. We need to find a cure, and of course there are these bandits. Just kind of that same old setting that they use for zombie games, and
So pretty much it's it is cliche.
it is
It
cliche.
is pretty cliche.
Yeah, that's the one problem that I have about the game is that it's like going through the storyline, it just really did seem cliche and it just didn't seem that original.
But I mean, with the zombie franchise in of itself, it is pretty cliche just as its own. They could do like a whole twist on it, which they kind of did with nighttime. Nighttime in this game
Oh yeah.
is very
Yeah.
well done. It is a very unique aspect to zombies, where
I'll
at
give
nighttime you. Hmm?
I'll give it that. I don't really like the game, but I'll give it that. I like the
Where
night.
at nighttime it actually is worrying, like, okay, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. The closest safe house is who knows past how many volatiles, which volatiles at night are very fast creatures and they are strong as hell and they can pounce on you pretty much from a long distance and get you pretty much pinned in a crowd of zombies, which will end up in your demise.
Pretty much.
And it's very stressful to know that you have to run past these guys to get to your safe house so you can sleep through the night. Um, as with this zombie game, it's with every zombie game they have to make sure that there's something outside of the story mode to keep you hooked, and they do that with various challenges that level up your perks because you have three skill trees: survivor, agility, and power. I only have been able to max out my power level because the agility is really hard to level. Whereas the only best way to level up agility is running at night, where at nighttime every single thing that you have is doubled, and that's kind of like the off of it to make it as risky. So like if you got 100 during the day, you'll get like 200 at night. Uh, with the survivors, combat is very hard with survivors because in this it's not like, oh, you hit me, now I hit you. Oh, you hit me, now I hit you. The survivors will actually dodge and block your attacks, and most of the time they are in packs, so you could be focusing on one guy and he blocks. Next thing you know, the other dude kicks you and knocks you off, and all of a sudden you get sliced. It can get really overwhelming really quick depending on your situation.
All right.
All right,
Are you done?
go ahead.
All right. Watching streams and whatnot. If there's one thing that like I feel that does keep this game alive is the it feels kind of open world and you like it feels kind of open world and the parkour aspect of this game really saves it because the storyline since it is pretty bad the gameplay saves it not the story and like
Mhm.
the parkour is pretty good, and I've heard a lot of streamers say that it is pretty smooth from what they know, and I mean I can't really speak about if it handles really well, but I mean from what I see, it looks pretty good. I mean,
It
I don't know
is
many games that have a lot of parkour that's any good.
for a
Well,
first-person parkouring mechanic.
I mean, if we want to
I
talk
would
about
imagine
Brink,
that
I
would
mean,
be
we can
very
go
tough.
there, but
get the fuck out of here, Brad.
It is very smooth. I have had some actually bugs that have occurred.
yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about a couple.
It is by Techland. There was a bunch of bugs in Dead Island. It is expected to be in their newest title. But I didn't experience as much. My main one was I was doing an agility challenge and I failed it halfway through. But the problem is my character still did the animation as if he was climbing up and he was floating off to the side all the way back to the building I was trying to climb up. And once he got there, he did the animation and it was fine. I could move around. I was like, okay, what the fuck was that? I just floated through walls all the way back to where I failed.
Yeah, there are definitely some bugs in the game.
There are volatile. There are zombies who clip through the buildings inside of stuff, and some minor stuff, but not too game breaking.
Overall,
we got another follower.
I like the. Oh, did we? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Overall-
stick around till the end. We'll thank all of you guys. Trust me, we will. But we just can't do it right now
Oh, hang
because
on.
we're gonna be uploading all this to YouTube. So
Party Boy
stay till the end.
559.
Oh, that's who it was?
Party Boy 559.
Alright, so thanks for
Thank you
following.
for following. Also, hang on, there was another one that I just
we'll
skipped over on
do it at
accident.
the end.
Yeah,
Oh, hang
what's
on.
her
I
name?
want to say thank you to Miss Sakura as well. Thank you for following. We appreciate the follows. But the thing with the game is, I really like you said, the parkour aspect of it is a lot of fun. And it's definitely something that I get addicted to. I was playing it over at Brian's house, actually. And that's pretty much what I was doing as I was running out at night, just leveling up my agility and stuff, parkouring, jumping from building to building. And it's a lot of fun. And it's I don't know, Mirror's Edge, if you guys ever played Mirror's Edge, was another parkour first-person game.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was really good, and I liked it. And I'm glad they're making a second one of that. But with Dying Light, it was a really good, they worked on it well. It felt like Assassin's Creed first-person mode. And I thought it was pretty good, honestly. The thing that everybody has a gripe with, I think Brad had a gripe with it, was the story was definitely not its strong point.
Super cliche.
Which I can kind of agree, but I still liked it in
basically,
a way.
if you go watch Angry Joe's review of Dying Light, it's pretty much everything that I thought about it, to be honest.
Well, with the story, it is kind of there's a lot of cliche. There is a lot of cliche, and I will admit that there is a lot of cliche, and some of the characters aren't memorable, but I still feel like I enjoyed it a bit, because there's not a lot of games with good stories nowadays, so it's it was definitely something that stuck out for me, and I do the voice actor Roger Craig Smith, who also voices Chris Redfield in Resident Evil, and he also voices Ezio Auditore in
I am
Assassin's
happy that they
Creed.
went to that alley besides the French voice actor that they originally showed him for. I think that is a pretty good route in terms of.
Yeah, he's definitely a good
actors.
voice actor who doesn't do a lot of work, but he's definitely a really good voice actor, and they definitely did a good choice with him, and his character's pretty decent. I think he's a pretty cool dude. But the game itself, gameplay wise, really good. Story wise, meh. And just overall, I had fun with the game, and I actually do like it. So, what do you guys think for a review of the game?
Coming from somebody who hasn't played the game and has watched people streaming it, so I mean, I don't really have a too creditable, rating, I guess. I'd probably have to give the game 7 out of 10.
For someone who has played through it, has done all the story missions, has been doing most of the challenge missions, has gotten good experience into it, I'd say it is a 8.7 out of 10. A very, very high number for me. It is very fun. I still go back and play it just because I want to punch zombies off of roofs and see how they just fall off, because that drop kicking zombies.
Oh, I saw that.
a
It's so
lot of fun.
funny.
That is
Alright.
fun.
Well, I kind of want to say
Alright.
something, man.
Alright.
And Christian did a lot of that.
I'm coming from Brad's perspective, where I didn't play the game. I've seen Angry Joe's review and I've seen gameplay, And I'm a huge fan of the Dead Island series, as you guys don't know, people that are watching. I love Dead Island 1. Riptide was just DLC, okay? That's on a disc. F that. But I'm guessing that, from my perspective, Dying Light's just a more serious Dead Island for me.
Well, it's made by the people
Yeah.
that made
I
Dead
know.
Island.
It's besides the night and the parkour, it's basically Dead Island, and there's not as much customization as in Dead Island. Like, I'm excited for... Like, Dead Island 2 is more... I mean, it's not as serious as Dying Light, but it's more fun, I guess, because they're taking a more less serious tone.
The thing is, like, Techland, that's why they split off from Deep Silvers, because they wanted to go a more serious route. So it's understandable, like, why it would be more silly, of course. So,
but I'd rather play I'd rather play Dead Island 2. That's just my opinion.
Well, I'm a person who plays, like, pretty much any game that comes out. So I like, in terms of Dying Light, I like that. In terms of Dying Light, I like that. So
plus, there's a player co-op in Dead Island 2, which you're gonna.
My only gripes with the game are some of the special infected, whereas to get survivor points, you have to save other survivors by special infected, and when you get to the next area, you come across these creatures called demolishers, which are pretty much Left 4 Dead tanks, and they put 2 of these, and you have to save.
Straight Jacket in Dead Island 1.
Yeah, pretty much. And these guys are in full riot gear, and you have to knock the armor off of them. Then you have to hit them again. They can charge, they can toss, they can punch you. And you have to save 2 survivors from 2 demolishers and a goon who holds a huge rebar club. And I see that, and I'm like, I'm not saving these dudes because the second I touch the ground, they're dead. So why am I trying?
Yeah, actually, I watched that, like, unfold. There were, like, 2 demolishers coming out, and then there was a big guy, and these, like, 2 people were down there trying to fight him. For some reason, I don't know what they were doing. They were trying to fight him.
We have another follower.
And the first one just got demolished, no pun intended. He just got demolished. And then the second one, we're like, alright, we need to go save him. And before we could get down there, we're like, oh, he's dead.
It just feels like a serious Dead Island.
Aaron, they're talking about you at the bottom left. He's talking about you.
It's just...
I talk more than Skittles.
Yeah, Skittles.
It's just a special
Skittles is very quiet.
Yeah.
Skittles fell asleep.
Did he?
Yeah.
Skittles.
Bombers are another pain in the ass because in like Dead Island, what did Dead Island have that explodes when it get? They have the suiciders. They were easy to pick out of a crowd by what they look like. Bombers are harder to pick out of a crowd, where it's literally just, oh, I'm killing zombies. Oh shit, that's a bomber. I didn't know that. I'm dead.
Yeah, like they pretty much insta kill you, and that kind of sucks because I've died.
Special
like
zombies
50
in Dead Island are, I think they're better.
Because the suiciders, they have pustules all over themselves. The bomber...
No, I did not fall asleep.
The only distinction of a bomber is its stomach, which is open.
Oh, yeah.
And like any and all sound in the game attracts faster zombies, so gunshots, explosions... pretty much a lot of stuff that makes a lot of noise. And another thing that is really stupid that they probably need to patch is... if you land on a car or a trash bag or an awning, no matter the height, you will live. Because it's like, the parkour aspect where it's like, oh, I landed on a car, it like cushioned my landing. I was at the tallest peak in the damn game, which was an antenna tower, which was a tower which I had to fucking get the radio from. And I was like, oh, zip line down. I see a van down there, and I'm like, no, I got this. I jumped on the van from like probably 100+ feet, and I lived.
GG, well
Yeah.
done.
I was just like, oh, thank God this metal car was here to cushion my fall. I mean, I didn't break my goddamn legs after dropping 100 feet.
Right. So what was your review, Brian, for it? What did you say?
8.7. 8.7.
8.7? I think I'm going to give it a
What would you
10
give
out of 10 drop kicking, but 7.5 out of 10 for the whole game.
What would you give Dead Island 1, Brian?
Fuck, dude.
7.3. It was a very, like, for its time, it was a really great zombie game. But, like, as you kept playing it, you kind of saw, okay, there are really a lot of problems with this game. Like, how the hell this...
If we're going to go on topic Dead Island, real quick, I just want to say this real quick. Definitely a 7 out of 10 for that game, but It's the
Right.
reason being is because like it felt like they worked so much on like the beginning, like the very beginning, like the island and stuff. Like I love that. I love the whole beach area. I felt like they worked on that, and then like as they went into like the jungle and the prison and stuff, it felt like they like were like, all right, we're kind of bored writing this game. Let's just finish this. Like
You can kind of see
I
the
thought it
bugs
was
as you
fine.
get to the next area where it's really starts to show, and it's just like, oh man,
yeah,
I
I
want-
felt kind of like I felt it kind of
Sometimes-
like a bit downer like later.
I thought the game was fine. I give like Dead Island. Honestly, I give it probably like a 7.8.
I gave it
Alright.
7. So you know we're pretty close on the review.
But Dead Island Riptide was just bad. It was basically
6.8 too many.
DLC.
Dying Light as a zombie game is a very good zombie game to start off the year for 2015 on the PS4 and
Yep.
Xbox One. Very good zombie
Oh.
game. I'd recommend
Dead
it.
Island too hype.
I'll say that like it's definitely not a game that's bad, so it's definitely already a step up from 2014. So that's what I think.
Already a step
Perfect.
up.
It'd be fair to compare Dead Island to a Dying Light when it comes out. That'd be fair.
Honestly, I'm not really hyped for Dead
I'm hyped.
Island 2. I've seen gameplay footage, and
I've
it
seen
looks
gameplay of the
fucking
first
I've
Dead
heard
Island, and it
yeah,
just
they
doesn't
show.
look like it interests me.